go live. But we're not live yet. Okay. Oh, yeah, we are. Hey, guys. What's up? See, this is why I wanted to do this, because I needed to practice. I think I'm actually already on live because it says live. Welcome, you guys, to the Bougie Podcast. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Special day today. We got Ryan back finally. He's been so busy lately. Ryan, what have you been up to?
Nothing.
Nothing. Every single time we have to do podcasts, you can't. You have to go.
That's AJ. That ain't me. I've said the only day was yesterday before 8, and that was I could still do it. It just had to be before 8 because I had to watch wrestling. I'm not even.
I knew it. Or we have to do them in between, like the Cavs schedule or something. There's always something.
Listen, I got priorities.
Apparently. Well, hey, listen, what's great about this podcast is we're kind of like the Browns and we're in a building stage. So we're just kind of doing what we want anyways. We don't like have a day. We just like go on whenever we want. And with that being said, I am lucky to be from Youngstown because I haven't really had to look hard for guests because I've been kind of staying in the Youngstown area. And last week I talked to Vince, who is from Youngstown, and I got another Youngstowner with us today. Ray, what's up?
What's up?
What's up? You know what's so funny? I thought I was the biggest Browns fan in Youngstown. I really did.
Wrong answer.
Wrong answer. So what happened is I was at the Magic Tree filming stuff for this show, and my friend was there, and they're like, she's like, you're never gonna believe who just pulled in. This is gonna be perfect. She told me who you were. I was like, I've never met him, which was crazy because it's just crazy because we're in the same area. He comes in, and what type of car do you have? Tell everybody what you drive.
I have a 2004 Cleveland Brown themed. And when I say Cleveland Brown themed, is orange and brown Corvette. I'm a General Motors guy.
There you go. See, everybody likes to like rhyme my name with Chevette. They're like, if I'm like, no, Corvette. So there you have it. Ray came in with this orange bad Corvette, which I posted pictures of. So we're not recording, otherwise I would show one right now. And found out that he had an awesome story. So, Ray, do you want to just go ahead and jump in and tell us who came knocking on your door one day and how that all came about?
Sure. Well, okay. Let's back up. Let's back up a little bit before the knock. And so I moved back to Youngstown, to take care of my mom. She was 92 at the time, so I was in full caregiver mode. And another good Browns friend of mine, Nicole. Hey, Nicole, I know you're watching. She sent me an email telling me about this Ford Hall of Fans, contest. And basically what it is, Ford and the Ford Motor Company and the Hall of Fame in Canton, they got together and they said, okay, we're going to do a contest to find the biggest, greatest, most craziest super fans in the nation. And
not just Browns fans, right? This was any fans.
Any fan. Yeah, this is a nation. Let's put it like this. Right now, there's 12 of us in the Hall of Fame. I'm the only Browns fan of the 12. So anyway, so the contest, I looked at it, and the first thing I noticed was people dressed up, going to the game. Those are the kind of people that had won the previous years, because the year I entered the contest was year 3 of the contest. So naturally I was kind of hesitant, but Nicole told me, she said, yeah, but you got a museum in your house. So we went back and forth, and I said, what the heck? I entered the contest and really didn't think anything else about it, because I found out later there were over 130,000 people that had entered the contest a year that I entered. So anyway, so I would say maybe a month or two went by, and then the Ford people got in contact with me, and they wanted me to send pictures. They wanted me to write a little story on why I think I'm a super fan, a Browns fan, anything, videos, anything that showed my fandom. So naturally, I sent in pictures, I sent in videos, and again, didn't hear anything from them. So I figured, okay, well, just, this is all part of the process. So now comes the good part. And this is where the deception comes in.
Okay.
So they call me up and they're really, I mean, they're really, really, really downplaying it. Hey, we want to use you for the next wave of people. There's probably like 50 to 100,000 that's going on to this stage. So they were really just downplaying it. But in reality, I was one of the 6 finalists. But again, they're downplaying it because they want me to be surprised, and they don't want to let on who's coming to my house to knock on my door. So
they want a genuine reaction.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I do, so I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna do? So they say, okay, so we're gonna send a small crew out, which it wasn't a small crew, it was like five camera trucks. And they show up the morning like 8:30 on the nose. And they come in, they start filming, they're setting up, they're filming, they're interviewing, and we break it at noon for lunch. So 1 o'clock we come back and we go back to filming and interviewing, and it was 1:16. I have the date, the time, I have everything etched in my head. 1:16, it was November 14th, 2020. And this is what they do. One of the ladies that was part of the crew, she said, hey, somebody's knocking at your door. Were you expecting somebody? And I'm thinking, and you know, Youngstown, nobody comes to your house unannounced. So I'm just thinking it was one of their people that got, locked out. So I go to the door and I open it up, and they're standing in his gold Hall of Fame jacket, number 32, the greatest running back of all time, Mr. Jim Brown. And okay, so wait, real quick, I have to tell this.
Okay.
I'm not embarrassed anymore. But the original shot, we had to redo it because when I opened up the door and I seen him, I just stood there and froze. So they said, hey, we're gonna need a little more energy in this guy over here. I said, okay, I got it, no problem, I got it. So what you see on film is the actual second take, because like I said, I stood there like a cartoon, dumbfounded. My mouth was moving, but nothing was coming out. So and the other thing that saved me, I seen his wife off to the. So I'm like, hey, come on in, Miss Brown, come on in, Mr. Brown. So I come in. At that time, my mom was 95. Yeah, my mom was 95. Because the first thing, as soon as they came in, because she was sitting right here in this chair right here. I brought him in, introduced him to her, and then we went straight to the Jim Brown room. Now the best part of this whole story is I didn't have a Jim Brown room 2 weeks prior to this, because I knew they were coming, and I'm like, okay, I got too much stuff in my, you know what? I need to set up this spare bedroom. I'm gonna make this the Jim Brown room, not knowing that he was coming in. That's why I know that there was a higher power involved in all of this, because there's no way everything could have just lined. No, that's the. And then wait a minute, for somebody in Youngstown for that to happen too. Yeah. Right. So took him to the Jim Brown room, and I'm explaining stuff to Miss Brown, Monique, because I'm figuring she doesn't know all of Jim's history. And after about 2 minutes of that, Jim Brown looks at me. He said, "I don't remember half of this stuff." So I literally got to give Jim Brown and his wife a tour of the Jim Brown room. It was just me, Jim, and his wife for 20 minutes. And that is probably the only regret that I have is we didn't have a camera in there. But other than that, I mean, it was the most, I mean, even now just talking about it, I get all excited all over again, like I'm a 12-year-old. So yeah, he came, he let me know that I was one of the finalists. But that's the thing. There were 6 of us. So now all 6 of us, we have to go online for 30 days and try to get as many votes as we possibly can. So we did that. We did that for 30 days. And at the end of the 30 days, myself, Christy Brown from the Arizona Cardinals, and Wayne Mabry from, actually they call him the Violator. I know you've seen him. from the Raiders.
From which team?
Oakland. I'm sorry, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm sorry, I'm so used to that
No.
Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, I know you've seen him. He has the shoulder pads with the spikes coming out of them, kind of thing. He's a very intimidating looking person, but it's the nicest, sweetest person that you'd ever want to meet.
Yeah.
So,
do you have their contact information? Maybe I need to bring them on too to talk about their fandom from there.
Absolutely. We talk. Well, here's the thing. There's 12 of us now. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and you know what? I don't know if they did it. I don't know if they ran I thought they were going to run the contest again this year, but I hadn't seen or heard anything. So it might just be the 12 of us. You know, I don't.
So once you're in, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You didn't get a yellow jacket though?
No. They gave us the blue. We got the blue one.
Oh, they did give you. Oh my God.
And a ring. Yeah, they gave us. Yeah, we got a jacket. We got a jacket. We got a ring. We got to. Wait a minute, what do I have to do to get a ring and a jacket to get in the Hall of Fame? Hope that they have that contest again.
I doubt they'll pick another person from Youngstown. What do you think?
No, because last year, okay, we already had a Chicago Bear in, and a guy from Chicago Bears got in again. So Chicago has two. So
yeah,
it's possible. It's definitely possible. Yeah, and then we got to go to the Super Bowl. We got the knock from Dave Baker. We were the last class with Dave Baker. After our class, he retired. So yeah, I mean, and then we got inducted. We had the whole Hall of Fame ceremony. Like it wasn't big like the players, but we still got our own ceremony, and we were down in Canton the whole Hall of Fame weekend. So great time, great time. And to be honest with you, all this does is just gives me a platform to do bigger things, bigger and better things.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So do you just like the Browns, or are you a huge Cleveland sports fan in general?
Well, okay, grew up football, diehard football person, diehard Browns. I like my Cleveland teams, but to be honest with you, I only do those other teams because football season isn't in. So I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but I mean, I like the Cavs, I like the Guardians.
Yeah.
But
we all have our favorite thing, and I think when it comes in Cleveland sports, I think the Browns are hard to beat with the diehards and stuff.
Absolutely. The Browns are the heart and soul of Northeastern Ohio, not just Cleveland, Northeastern Ohio.
True that.
And then you have, I find it fascinating. I lived in LA for about 10 years. There are numerous, I mean, like hundreds of thousands of Browns fans in LA that's never left California, let alone been in the state of Ohio or actually been to a Browns game. And it's like, really? And yeah, it's like Browns fans are everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, we are. So we talked a little bit about the Cavs. I want to talk about them a little bit because we had some big news coming up with Kevin Love. Ryan, what do you think about Kevin Love? Actually, when Ray first got on, he was like, he thought you were Kevin Love. So
he got the whole little Kevin Love vibe going on.
Yeah, I think he has Kevin Stefanski, some kind of Kevin.
Yeah, I've gotten Love, either one, Kevin Love or Kevin Stefanski, I guess.
Okay.
Except I'm like half their size and weight. That's all right. And all that other stuff. I was sad. Kevin Love's been here 9 years. If you would have told me when they had LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin Love, I think everybody, if you had to put actual money on it, you'd say Kevin Love's probably going to be the first one gone. Mainly because of his role on the team, and would they trade him to try to bring somebody else in, maybe a better fit, whatever the case was. All probably just nonsense. But here we are 9 years later, Kevin Love, who they already stated they're going to retire number 0, as they should, stuck it out longer than anybody. And you got to appreciate it. And was everything, it wasn't all flowers when he was here. We can all remember a few years ago, he had it for moments in a period of time with the team, and that was displayed on the court. And then last year, it seemed like once the team got a little better and he found a role coming off the bench, it was like everything was great again. And, I feel like he was kind of the guy that took a lot of the fans' outrage if the Cavs weren't winning or this or that, especially in the finals, because he's just not a great matchup against the Warriors. But he's had so many great moments that far outweigh that. His series in the Eastern Conference playoffs in general against teams like the Hawks, the Raptors, who he just lit up. I don't think they could have got nearly as far or maybe even won a championship without him because he did so much during the regular season for that team. And, you wanted the storybook ending. You wanted him to have one more playoff run with the Cavs, maybe see him even stay next year, stay a couple years after that. But it just looked like father time, unless you're Tom Brady or LeBron James. It finally caught up with him a little bit. After he injured his thumb and he kind of had a little back issue, it just seemed like that extra gear that he used to have wasn't there. And he fell out of the rotation. And, I thought.
He kind of doesn't mix in with those it's kind of like those younger guys and then Kevin Love.
Well, they all looked up to him. He was Uncle Kev.
Yeah.
I mean, they all liked him a bunch. He was great to have around. But if you're Kevin Love, you got to look at it like this. I'm not playing here. This is my last year of a contract. He still believes, and we don't know how much that would be for, he still believes he's got one more contract in him. And the only way you get that contract is by playing. And if he was going to just ride the bench, I initially thought he would eventually be reinserted into the lineup maybe later on in the year because you don't know if Dean Wade falls off a little bit or if they have an injury in the front court because they don't really have a ton of depth there. But he just didn't probably feel he needed to stick around to find that out. And there were several games I thought that it looked like he might actually be able to, be put in and play a little bit, and it never happened. So, the NBA is much.
I think it was like a mutual decision there.
Yeah,
on both parts.
I mean, we did him a solid. We let him go.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have easily said, no, we might need you, and we want you to stay here. But I feel like he's done so much for the city, for the franchise, and he has, we respect the guy so much that I think we did the right thing. Do I feel like he's going to go to Miami and he's going to start giving 25 and 10? I do not. But I think you wanted to see the.
There's better weather.
There is.
Oh, yeah. I think the Cavs were just in full youth mode. I really do. And what wasn't he making? Like $30 million this year?
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he had left in the year, how much they bought him out for, but.
Well, I heard he only ate like 1.5 of it. So whatever it was, he didn't have to give up a whole bunch of it.
I would figure by now most of the contract was paid out anyway because you're coming into March, so 2 more months of the regular season, he probably got 70% of it already.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel
Much
bad.
love for Kevin Love. Much love for Kevin Love for us, I think, for sure.
I almost wore my Kevin Love jersey on this, but it's so beat up. I was like, it's disrespectful to the man, so I did.
Yeah. Well, I think we're coming back after the All-Star weekend pretty healthy. Looks like everybody should be coming back.
Should be good to go.
Hopefully we'll get back on a winning streak. I think they're starting to get it back towards the end of February, weren't they? I know January wasn't too good.
Yeah. They were. Yeah, they were.
So what do you think they need to do to get to the playoffs all the way?
Me personally, they just need to keep playing together because the continuity between, because it seems like they're trying to make sure that Garland knows his role when Spider's out there and then when Spider's not out there. So I don't. That's just my take on it. I just need time.
Little bit more time together.
Time. They just need time. They're a young team. I think they got the youngest starting lineup in the league outside of Oklahoma City. I think there's some people.
Number one defense. I seen that today.
I'll just address this because I love on Twitter when the Cavs, they blow a fourth quarter game like nobody in the NBA does that. I'm pretty sure those people who just started picking up on the Cavs when they're good. Now I'll say this: I might be one of the few people whose favorite team in Cleveland is the Cavs, and it always
Is
has.
it?
Oh yeah, I've been running around. I was running around with a Chris Mills jersey on as a kid. Okay,
Yeah.
I love the Browns too, so don't come at me with any kind of anything. But like the Cavs were, I always loved basketball. You know, I loved Doherty and Nance, Elo, Price, all those guys. And then I had no problem sitting around with them when they stunk. You know, and you're looking at
when LeBron left.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was watching them before LeBron existed.
Yeah.
So I put up with some. We had some all right teams with Mike Fratello, with when they got. I remember getting Sean Kemp and running around high school like we just traded for Jordan. So I think sometimes what happens is when people just start to say, "Oh, the Cavs are good, I'm going to follow them," and they see some late like collapses with a very young team, and they're automatically, "Oh, we got to get rid of JB," and it's like, wow.
That's how everyone is
learn
everything.
how this works a little more. I mean, as Ray said, they're a really young team. As you said, best defense in the league. This is the first time I've seen the Cavaliers with a front office actually develop talent, like bring a guy in like Darius Garland and see him every year take significant steps. Same thing with Mobley in his second year. They bring Jared Allen in. He's showing progress. Okoro's on the fence. You're not going to hit with everything. But
what about Danny Green? What do you think about him coming?
Well, if he has anything left, if there's just a hair of gasoline left in the tank, and he came off of basically the same injury as Rubio, and he's about a month behind Rubio when it comes to, getting it all back. If he has anything left, he should be starting by the end of the year in the playoffs. He's absolutely perfect for what we need in a starting lineup. Don't forget, this is an all-defensive player, a great three-point shooter. He was a starter for pretty much his entire career up until he got hurt. And he's 34, 35. Now, you never know if people are going to come back from injuries. But if he has anything in him for the playoffs, and I believe the Cavs are built for the playoffs with how they play in the half court, how they defend in the half court, how they run their offense through their bigs in the half court. You have Danny Green out there to pull people who they got to watch in the playoffs, because you can't have, unfortunately, people out there who can't hit shots because defenses are just going to collapse in, and it's going to be a mess for Garland and Mitchell. But if Danny Green's got anything left, we got to hope he does. He should be able to make some. I'm not saying here comes Danny Green from the Spurs from years ago, but if he can just draw some attention on offense, hit a few threes, and play serviceable defense, he could mean a lot. So we'll see. But that's when you wish upon a star stuff. So we'll see what happens.
Well, see, I'm big on Okoro because he loves locking down whoever the scorer is on the other team. He locks them down. He doesn't. I mean, he'll give you whatever he scores, but defensively, man, I just hope. Well, I'm pretty sure the front office sees it as well too, because I'm like, man, if you cannot afford to get rid of him.
Oh no, they shouldn't do that. I'm not trying to say. I think when I say you could start Danny Green, that shouldn't lessen Okoro's role at all. Right. Okoro needs to be able to come in, be that energy guy off the bench. Now, if you want to say Okoro performs better when he starts, so bring whatever, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I actually like him coming off the bench.
Okoro?
Yeah, I actually like him coming off the bench.
I think sometimes he just, for whatever reason, it looks like I don't know if when he comes off the bench, he feels like he has to try to do more. But if he can settle into that, like him and Karis LeVert, 6'7", with Rubio, you kind of bring that group in and a Dean Wade, it'd be great. I just fear in the playoffs, and the only reason I would say if Danny Green is able to, don't force him out there if he's not healthy yet or he's not comfortable. But if you have Danny Green out there to be able to stretch the floor in the half court, because my fear with Okoro would be you're going to see teams just leaving him open. And if he's only shooting 4 3-pointers a game and hitting one, nobody's going to guard him, because the game, unless it's the final shot, isn't coming down to 1 or so 3-pointers. So as much as he is great on defense and he can lock players down and he's great in transition and he can do a lot with the ball, give me somebody maybe to begin the game with that the defense has to worry about. Then you bring in Okoro at times, as you said, to be that energy off the bench. And that doesn't mean Okoro can't be on the floor at the end of games either. There's going to be moments where you're going to want him out there. So I just think maybe to start games, if Danny Green's able to, I wouldn't mind seeing that. But if Okoro, I'm fine with him too. I'm just playing, pretend GM over here. That's all.
Right. Did you guys catch any of the All-Star? Sorry, did you guys catch any All-Star game or the slam dunk contest or any of that?
I watched all of it, actually.
Yeah, I watched
What do you guys think?
This was probably the best year for the slam dunk contest I've seen in a while.
Well, yeah, and the fact that they brought a guy, pretty much an unknown guy out of nowhere. I mean, he just basically and what a lot of people don't, because see, a lot of people don't watch it live. They like to just watch the highlights. All those dunks he made was on his first try. Those weren't second try dunks. All those dunks that he made were first try dunks, which that says a lot. That says a lot about
the YouTube guy.
No, I'm talking about the guy who won the slam dunk contest.
What was his name? Mac McGlow.
Timberwolves or something.
Mac was his first name.
Mac.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
But he's in the. I think he plays for the Mac McClung. There we go.
Okay.
Right.
He's I think he's in the 76ers G League. Is that where he's at?
Right.
What were everyone mad about this morning? I was watching something and they were talking about that he was on YouTube, or am I messing something up?
He probably does dunk on YouTube. That wouldn't be surprising. I mean, good way to make extra money putting your dunks up there. So I'm sure he's got a page.
That's what they were saying. They were saying then pay more for the dunks, and then maybe you'll get people that are playing now to take it more seriously. I don't know. Not having. It's all for entertainment, right? We're just here to watch the show.
Yeah, I think people get too wrapped up in All-Star Weekend for every game, every sport. It's like, to me, the All-Star Weekend. Now I'll say baseball's is pretty good because it's a baseball game, and you can't unless you're gonna be the pitcher out there and just throw fastballs so the score can be 17-16. You're not gonna do that. But as far as like the NBA and people are, oh, it's not competitive. It's not. They're not. It's like, dude, it's just a celebration of the game with the best players all in one place, showcasing talent, having fun. That'd be like, I work for a bank and I work in the mortgage department. That'd be like if I was one of the top 10 salespeople and we all went to a big dinner and we got there and we're thinking, this is going to be great. We're going to celebrate, we're doing good. And the boss is like, all right, now everybody call these leads while you're here because we got to work really hard during this celebration. It's like, what? I thought we were here to party and have fun. So to me, I never subscribe to the game isn't fun and they don't try. It's like, it's just the best players shooting from half court. Just enjoy the show. And you're going to get all
people would love to see them get hurt in those games. Can you imagine?
Yeah, you want to see Mitchell really trying in this game and get hurt for it. It's like, I don't want to see that. I just want to see him shoot threes from half court. That's it.
Right.
Remember my favorite slam dunk contest? What was the guy's name from the Orlando Magic back in the day?
Dwight Howard.
Yes. Yeah. The old days.
You must have missed the Spud Webb slam dunk contest then.
Well, they said Spud Webb was the second. The guy that won this one was like less than 6 foot, and I think Spud Webb, they said, was the only other player that was less than 6 foot.
Yeah, Spud was like what, 5'5"?
How big was what's his name when he played for the Celtics? When he won 3 in a row. What was his name?
Isaiah Thomas?
No. He jumped over Dwight Howard one year. Should have done.
Oh! Was that
Nate Thurman? Nate, what was his name? I'm all messed up. I almost said Nate Thurman. I think he's in the Hall of Fame and not Nate. Oh man, I'm doing it on the fly here. Maybe I'm not Robinson. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You talking about he was an extra short guy?
He was 5'9". I think Spud.
Yeah. That was Nate. Yep, that was Nate.
Yep.
So let me ask you guys this. I know this was a trigger on Twitter today, and I knew it would be because I know people are passionate about. And I don't think Lamar Jackson is a top 10 quarterback. I know he is holding out on his contract right now. And what do you guys think about everything that's going on with Lamar Jackson, his contract? Do you think he'll stay a Raven or what?
Well, if any luck, the Ravens will let him walk, and then that'll take one really good quarterback out of the AFC North. That's fine.
True that.
Well, here's the thing. The Deshaun Watson contract got all the other NFL quarterbacks all in a hissy fit. So, oops, man, that was a good catch. So now everybody wants that Deshaun Watson contract, and the owners just isn't going to give it up. they'll match
really
the
messed
money.
up a lot of people's books doing that.
Yeah.
Say
Right.
that.
Now, don't get me wrong. They'll match the money, but they're not going to guarantee it all like they did in Washington's contract. And
Like
that
they can. I love that
that's
too.
the
Where
problem.
the teams can't do it all of a sudden. This league
No.
makes more money than every like 100 small countries combined, and they can't pay out guaranteed money. All of a sudden. Like, get out of here.
Right.
I thought
Exactly.
Haslam. Now you can argue if you gave it to the right person or not. That's a whole different conversation. But I love the fact that he guaranteed a contract that big in the NFL, because every other sport, such as the NBA, even the NHL, Major League Baseball, you sign your name on the line and it has X amount of money. That's what you get.
Right.
That's your money.
Yeah, football is the only one that does those contracts. And you know what? I thought about that many a night. No, seriously. I think the problem is, okay, in basketball, you got 5 starters and then 7 guys on the bench. So you got a total of 12 guys. So okay, you can guarantee 12 contracts. Okay, not a problem. But now bring it into football. You got 11 on offense, 11 on defense, 11 on special teams. You got over 50-something guys. There's no way possible to guarantee contracts in football. So I get why they don't do it. But I just see coming down the pike, I can see the top tier players probably pushing for those guaranteed contracts. Now, whether they'll get them or not, I don't know.
They usually do it with signing bonus. Signing bonus is the way to get around the big guarantee. Even if, like, just take Watson's contract, for example. A portion of that 230 million, 240, whatever it is, X amount of percent of it is actually a signing bonus spread out. So he's going to have a salary cap number, then he's going to have his like yearly guarantee or bonus, whatever it is. So they kind of structure them in wonky different ways. Maybe you don't have to guarantee everybody's salary, because even in the NBA, if you're a second round pick, your contract's not guaranteed. So but man, for your starters or a percentage of your roster, I think there should be maybe a little bit more guaranteed money, because you're pushing it out anyway. And I don't want to hear the NFL doesn't have the money. I feel like they do.
Cuba Gooding Jr. said it the best. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. And they're still not showing people the money. So I don't know. Are they going to show Lamar Jackson the money? I don't know. But where's he going to go? Like, where do you think he'd go if he was in a
quarterback starved league? So as soon as if they can pony up the money, I mean, somebody.
Well, the problem though, this time of year, this is the silly season. I've heard more. We should trade Nick Chubb. We should trade Myles Garrett. We should trade. I'm like, oh my
fantasy
God.
People are out of there. They're just it's interesting.
Who said trade Nick Chubb?
Now I will say this: there is a reality with Nick Chubb that he's next year, his last year of his contract, he's going to be 29, and I don't know what they'll do with him. But to say to get rid of him now, I don't think that's even a.
Well, I think that's the problem with running backs, is that they're not paying them that much money, and because they have such a short shelf life, let's keep it real. I think it's from 23. Your body's at the max to like 27.
But even with all that being said, this isn't a running league. Okay, the top 3 running backs in the league out of the playoffs. What does that tell you? If you run the ball, you won't win. You won't have longevity.
So what does it say about Lamar Jackson, who's a running quarterback? I think Lamar Jackson's a running back.
Well, no, I wouldn't go that far.
Yes, he does. Two different because here's the thing.
If you're a wide receiver, you wouldn't want Lamar Jackson throwing you the ball, would you?
Well,
you ain't getting it. He's keeping it. He's a ball hog. He's gonna hold it down.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. This is what I will say about Lamar. Every year, it seemed that he improved his passing game a little bit.
He did.
I'll give him that much. But you're right. He's still pretty much a running quarterback. Whereas, see, people think that Deshaun Watson is like Lamar, and it's like, no. Deshaun can run, but he's a pass first quarterback.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I mean, outside and this, I mean, Lamar's numbers when it comes to passing has been pretty consistent. He's over 60s, like 64% completion rate. He'd throw for around close to 3,000 yards, but I mean, he's a touchdown machine. I mean,
Right.
I mean, it's just here's the way I look at it too. I think sometimes you get caught up in watching a quarterback's skill set and say, well, they can only do this or they can only do that. It's like, did they score points? Yes. Does that team win games when they're playing that position? Yes. Did he get awards for doing his job at a high level? Yes. So to me, he might not have the extended career as somebody who can sit back in the pocket and just, read a defense and fire. But for a period of time, that guy is going to be incredibly valuable to your franchise. And yeah, maybe if you don't want to pay him all the guaranteed money Watson got, because as you were saying, there'll be a period of time in Watson's career where his athleticism isn't where it is now, but his arm's going to be still just fine. Right. And that's when he'll really earn his money, when he can't sit back and avoid sacks and hold the ball for 5 seconds and do all the things in the pocket to extend plays. He might just turn into a good, 3-step drop, boom, 7, boom, let's go. Whereas maybe Lamar Jackson can't do that down the road. But before that happens, for that 8, 6, 7 years, man, to sit there and him and haw about the guy's money, and what are you going to do if you're the Ravens? Who you got next? Hundley? You're going to go, you're going to get Derek Carr? Please bring in Derek Carr. We got a whole new defensive line on the way waiting for an
They can bring in Jimmy Garoppolo. Isn't he still waiting for
bring him too. You took the words right out of my mouth. Oh, I was send Jimmy to Baltimore.
Yeah, he can get that work too. I mean, these
right,
are people.
Right.
And I like Jimmy Garoppolo, but
I heard
my chances over Jackson with them.
Hey, I heard, and this is probably part of the silly season, but I did hear that Baltimore was talking to Atlanta about Lamar. But what would you have to give up for Lamar?
I mean, probably
2 first-round picks.
At least 2, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'd want more than that. Well, how many?
No. I'm saying the starting. At the very least, you're going to start with 2 number ones, and then it might go up to 3 number ones. I don't know.
If you're Atlanta, though, you might not be willing to mess around because you thought you had Deshaun Watson, and that didn't work out for you.
Right.
So that's a good point. Look at the teams that lost out. Not the Final 4. Who was it? Us, Carolina, New Orleans, and Atlanta, I think, right?
In Atlanta, right. Atlanta.
Okay. So maybe those are the teams to take your eye on, and they might be a little bit more inclined to really try to get something done because, well, they got left at the table with Watson, and do you really want to go 0 for 2 and go back to your fan base and this and that? So if Atlanta, to me, probably would be an amazing fit for him. Playing inside, better conditions year round for him. I mean, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I might want to go to Atlanta. So
right, and Atlanta has a history of the whole Michael Vick thing down there. So to me, it's almost tailor made for Lamar. Now, do they pull the trigger? I don't know. And the bigger question is, if you're Baltimore, how do you replace Lamar?
Oh, you don't right away.
Exactly. So now you're gonna have a pissed off fan base, which none of us care. But
like been there, done that. Like
right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you pull that trigger. But check this out. It's almost the same situation. Us and Baker. We had to make a decision. Do we pull the trigger and keep him, or do we send him somewhere else? Because I don't know if y'all know this or not, but they offered Baker $20 million a year at the beginning of the season. He turned it down. And I don't blame him because he did what Lamar did last year. He said, I'll play for the contract. And he came out looking really good until, was it game 3 where he separated the shoulder?
I think it was the second one. I was at that game.
Okay, yeah, because I was all in on Baker. I was like, yeah, come on. And then the separated, and I'm like, and it was downhill after that. I apologize if I brought up some hurtful memories for some of you. I'm not.
On Baker makeup, he's like,
yeah.
I'm not a Baker fan. He can go. I wasn't.
He's like Baker. I love Baker. Like much love to Baker. I'll never. He released the Bud Lights. he came in. I don't want to get on a Baker theme, but I love the guy. I love this attitude to coming to Cleveland. He really genuinely wanted to be there, I think, and play. And, just like has Cleveland stories come. It's just one of his other sad stories.
I'm not a fan of Baker, so I didn't care that he was gone. I would have got rid of him even if Deshaun Watson didn't exist.
Not at all. Even when they drafted him, you just never you never were a huge fan of him.
No, I liked him. I'm about production. And yes, do I develop the one-sided friendship? Yeah, I do. But typically I do that more with the basketball team than the football team. Yeah. So I liked Baker, and you can find all kinds of positive posts I put up about Baker. But eventually your tape doesn't lie. And the things that he needed to do to progress, if he was, even with his shoulder injury, and I get it, but you can see him not progressing in areas that were not beyond the shoulder. It was things he would do before the snap, not seeing the defense, not taking easy reads, hitching in the pocket. There was a lot of things that you would think by year 4 would be, fixed, and they just weren't. And all of a sudden, I know that fans like that rah, I plant the flag, I'm the cocky whatever. Locker room hates that. And they didn't like him. Okay, like more people were sad to see Odell go than Baker when it comes to the players. So, and to me, the locker room is the be-all, end-all. We're fans. We put up with everything. We're going to love the team no matter what. They can get rid of players. They can bring in players. They moved the team and brought us back some imposter thing for a while. So, and we're still here, just as happy as can be. So, to me, what really matters is what is the overall health of the organization and the locker room. And I wasn't in there, so all this stuff I'm seeing, everybody else is seeing on the internet too.
Hey, when there's smoke, there's fire. When there's smoke, there's fire.
But there's too much. And it's like, look, if he lost the locker room and they're tired of his antics when he's not producing at a high level, you can be crazy and say whatever you want if you're throwing 30 touchdowns and 4,500s a year. Aaron Rodgers can be as crazy as he wants. And they're like,
right. We want the guy that wants to go to your birthday party.
So it's like, I was over it. And I thought that, it was time to look elsewhere. And obviously the Browns agreed with me.
Let me ask you guys something real quick. Speaking of quarterbacks, I don't want to touch on it too much because it's old news, but the Super Bowl, we've seen 2 amazing quarterbacks. I'm going to tell you just really quick. Jalen Hurts impressed the crap out of me. I mean, we all know Pat Mahomes is good. Come on. He's amazing. But Jalen Hurts, wow, he's really good. What do you guys think? What were your thoughts on the 2 quarterbacks in the Super Bowl?
Just great. I love seeing high-level quarterback play. And Jalen Hurts, who I don't even think I don't think he was looked at as what he turned into. I could be wrong. But when he was coming out, Eagles made a nice pick. We'll see what happens. But, man, he came on fast. And he's a mobile quarterback, but he can really throw the ball really well. And you're right. We all know that Pat Mahomes, there's a gap between him and even Josh Allen and other guys in the league. I
have chills right now because it's so true. It's so true. He's so good. He's so good.
There's people that are just like, oh, wow. But Jalen Hurts, man, he stood in there toe to toe. And if that top-ranked Philly defense that generated like 70, 80 sacks, whatever it was all year,
that was him out the gate.
Touch him. They couldn't even. Pat Mahomes had one leg. They couldn't touch him. And maybe if that defense could have done anything in the second half, that it would have been a better ending for Jalen Hurts. But that shows you. That's why I always wonder too. Going back to the Ravens, like you see what you need to win a Super Bowl. You see the quarter. That's why the Browns did what they did. That's why they gave up 3 first-round picks, all the guaranteed money, and took all the backlash that came with them. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have somebody that can play at that level. Yes, once every 20 years, the Baltimore Ravens from 2001 show up. Or, a team like that where you're like the Niners have been really close to being able to do it with defense and good, decent quarterback play. But they haven't won it. So, that's just showing you when you see the level of skill played in the Super Bowl at the quarterback position, you're like, oh, I get it. I see.
He eats, drinks, and lives football. I just watched it. I watched him, and he was on the Travis Kelce's podcast, Pat Mahomes, and I think you don't find people like that, and except for Ryan, Tom Brady. I think that Pat Mahomes might even surpass Tom Brady.
I can't think about that right now. I can't think about
that. You have to love it so much. I know.
I don't want to have to root against him. I don't want to have to root against him, and I will if he gets too close to Tom.
That much. He's that good. He's that.
Oh, he's really good.
He's that really good. And Tom Brady was that focused. You notice, like in his career, he never kind of got off the. He was always the quarterback. You know, he was never like the partier guy. And
he's like, I'm here to win football games. This man got a divorce to play with the crappy Buccaneers for like 8-10 more games. Like you throw your family, you're like, I'm done with you. I'm gonna go play for the Bucs. Like you really like football a lot.
Right. Hey, listen, if you get as drunk as Pat Mahomes does at a Super Bowl parade, you know you're a lightweight. You know that guy doesn't drink.
Tom Brady parties his ass off after a Super Bowl. They have to carry that man out of places.
Right.
I'll say this. Right. I'll say one more thing about the Super Bowl.
Sure.
I think Andy Reid's a better coach than Bill Belichick. The end.
Blasphemy! Blasphemy!
I can prove it to you. Find me Bill Belichick's record when Tom Brady isn't his quarterback. It's bad. He's average. The man don't go to the playoffs. We saw him for 5 years in Cleveland. We had a losing record every year but one. He has been average at best. Who's their quarterback now? That poor dude they draft. What's his name?
The MILF lover?
Yeah, what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Zach? Is it Zach?
Who is their quarterback now? They benched him like they
Wilson from Alabama.
Yeah.
Mark, telling me this is it Mark? Is it Mac Wilson? Matt Wilson? Mark Wilson?
Mac Jones. There
Mac Jones.
That dude.
Wilson plays for the Jets.
Yeah.
Wilson plays for the Jets.
I'm not supposed to know all these other dudes, but I'm just telling you, Belichick without Brady is a very average coach, and you can see it every time he's had a year that Tom Brady wasn't. And I can look at Andy Reid and go all the way back to the Philly years where he went to 5-6 NFC title games. Donovan McNabb, made him to another level, went to a Super Bowl with him, lost to Tom Brady, which, happens unless you're the Giants apparently and the Eagles once. But then you keep going, and then you look at Andy Reid. He has Alex Smith. Alex Smith he gets beat up for being the game manager, this and that, AFC championship games, winning records. Then he comes across Pat Mahomes,
and lets him sit a year.
He traded up to get him because the Bears were supposedly waiting to take him. That poor franchise.
We could have took him. We could have
taken him. And he gets Pat Mahomes, and now they're like unbeatable. And it's like, dude, Andy Reid's the man. I mean, his creativity with his mind and allowing, I know he doesn't focus on defense like Bill does because Bill's a defensive guy. But I don't know. If I had a quarterback, I feel like Andy Reid's going to get the most out of him. So there's my hot take.
There you go.
Twitter.
I mean, I bet you that's like a 50-50. There's a lot of argument.
Yeah, okay. Let me just say this though, because I'm a Belichick guy only out of respect, and I like the fact that Belichick always pays homage to Paul Brown.
Sure.
Having said all of that, yeah, that's a stretch with Andy. Don't get me wrong. Andy Reid is a genius when it comes to offensive play calling. It's too bad that they couldn't be on the same team. Bill calling God dog it.
You got that so fast though, right?
Yeah.
Bill calling the defense. Andy calling the offense. Yeah, I don't. So wait. Let me get to. I just want to make sure I'm hearing this right. So you're saying that Tom Brady made Belichick and not the other way around. That's is that what I'm hearing? I just want to make sure that that's what I'm hearing.
Well, I mean, Bill Belichick was never the offense. All he did, he drafted him. He did draft him, but it's starting to show too that even at an advanced age of 40 plus years old, Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay, wins a Super Bowl right off the rip.
Wait, hold on, time out. Okay, let me address that. Wait a minute. Tom Brady, that team was stacked. The team that he went, that Tampa Bay team, they had everything except the quarterback. So it's not.
They got Tom Brady and they won the Super Bowl.
Right. So, and that's the only Super Bowl that I've ever gone to. so I'm hoping that Tom Brady is the greatest because I have the ticket and the program from that from his last Super Bowl. So yeah, I don't know.
It's
But it makes for great debate.
When you hear it on the surface, it sounds absurd. But the more you
No.
look into it,
Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't because
it's not.
The only difference here's the only difference. Belichick has more Super Bowls. That's the only difference.
But the difference is how many is Andy Reid going to end up with Pat Mahomes? I mean,
here's the thing though. We know defense wins championships. So I guess my question is, are they going to spend all the money on the offensive side of the ball? Because see, they could easily be another Green Bay Packers with the quarterback that heck, Brett Favre and what's his name only won one Super Bowl each. So although Patrick has two now.
Yeah, I think defensively though, what they're showing you is you need a defense. They don't necessarily always have to be the top ranked defense, but they got to be able to make. This is what I'd like the Browns defense to do. I don't really care if we're top 5, top whatever. When you need a stop, when you need to flip the game and get a stop, I need a defense that can do that. And the one thing the Chiefs have had, they've had a good, decent enough defense. If you look at that Super Bowl in the second half, they got back-to-back stops, and next thing you know, they were up. That was it. That's all it took. They needed that defense to make 2 key stops, and the offense is good enough and so great that was it. And that's how Philadelphia. That's to me. It's like as long as the Chiefs' defense is good enough just to get key stops in situations and give Pat Mahomes a chance, that might be all you need to do. And especially with the way the rules are. I mean, they called holding and a guy touched his towel. I mean, so.
Well, and then the injuries play a big part too, because I really thought that the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl that Brady won, but both of his tackles were out, and he was running. Man, Mahomes was running for his life the whole game.
That's the same way Brady lost his Super Bowls when he wasn't able to get protection against the Giants, all-time front, and then even the Eagles game was a shootout, and his defense could not get that stop, those couple stops they needed to come back and win that game. So. It's a fun conversation to have.
This will be the last thing I say about the quarterback. So I'm taking it the way you're showing your admiration for Tom Brady, that he's the GOAT for you.
Oh yeah, there's just
so where does Otto Graham fit in that conversation?
I mean, he's great. He's a Hall of Famer. He's won how many championships for us? However, what happens is you start having that conversation of comparing football from the 50s to 2000s, which I don't know. Can you really do that? Actually,
you can't. But that's not helping your argument. But go ahead.
No, I said Otto Graham's great, but
no. All I'm saying is all the changes that were made enhanced the quarterback and protected the quarterback. So all I'm saying is, I'll take your argument that you're about to give me, and I'll say, okay, well then let's put Otto Graham in that. Let's frame him. He's getting protected. He's deflating his ball. He got the tuck. He got the tuck rule. Come on. But this is what Otto Graham played 10 years. Otto Graham played 10 years, and he took him to the Super Bowl all 10 years.
I am not going to argue.
Quarterback has ever.
You're in the Hall of Fame for being a Browns fan. I am not going to argue Otto Graham.
No. I'm not doing it. Well, see, this makes for a great debate.
That debate is like modern football versus the football that was played back in the 40s and 50s. That to me is more what the argument is. But then you can also
okay. Here's
saying, is Bill Russell the greatest basketball player of all time?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Again, all it does is make for great debate, because at the end of the day,
sports.
It's too hard to try to compare eras because too much was going on. I mean, those guys back when Otto Graham played, they all worked in the off season.
Yeah,
they didn't even get to train year round like the players do today.
Right. It was a different. That's why it's like I think you should be able to look at every player based on when they played, how the competition was, how the sports work. Like you said, back then, those dudes, that was like a part-time job for them. They were working in a mill. They were, working in schools. Who knows, whatever they were doing. So I think what you do is you take that era and you say, Otto Graham, the circumstance he played under in his era, every factor considered, is by far and away probably the best quarterback in that era. Would Otto Graham's skill set translate today? Maybe, because we'd have to see if Otto Graham had year-round training. What would he be like with year-round training?
And all the rule changes. And because we'll never know, that's why it makes great debate.
Yeah. It's the same thing with Bill Russell. If you put Bill Russell in the NBA today, would he be dominant still? Or would he be, in line with some of the other great centers that we see today, like Giannis or Joker or some of those guys? So you just –
Right.
I wish we could figure that out, but it's probably best we don't, because if not, we'd have nothing to talk about.
What would we talk about in the off season?
Nothing.
Exactly. Exactly. It's perfect.
Speaking of the off season, are you watching anything now, Ray, on TV? Anything that's catching your eye? Are you watching the golf show on Netflix?
No, I am not.
Yeah.
I have a tendency to in the off season. Well, I try to plan for, because the first NFL thing that's coming up now is the combine. I think the combine, and then is it combine, then draft, then
free agency.
Free agency. So yeah. So
are you more excited for the draft or free agency? Because I'm going free agency. I don't follow the draft if we don't have a top pick. So I'll say one thing. One good thing about trading away 3 first-round picks is I feel like I am now free from the draft for a while, because I don't know any of the draft. I don't know any of these players. There's like, you got guys. We got to draft this guy out of this. It's like you watched 5 games on CBS or whatever. So to me, I'm for free agency is what I'm ready for.
Right. Well, they're saying that this is one of the weakest drafts in a long time. So it's really good that we gave up that number 1 this year. But no, I'm like you as well too. Here's the bigger thing though too. I only think that we're a couple players, because offensively
we're real close.
We score with everybody. It's the scheming on defense, and we fixed that because we got rid of our defensive coordinator and we brought in Schwartz.
Oh, thank God.
And then so now to me we're a couple defensive tackles, a linebacker away from.
Give me one more wide receiver too. We're ready. Listen, the window's open.
We need some more wideouts. We need a deep threat for him too.
So wait, hold on. So wait. Are you guys and ladies giving up on Schwartz?
I mean, do you have time with the clock ticking with other guys' contracts to wait for this dude to figure it out? Because here's
the thing though. He was a 3rd-round draft pick, so he is on a favorable contract. Although I believe
it's wasting snaps. I mean, not the money.
No, I get it, but it's almost like, man, do you want to give up? And that's my only concern. We give up in the past. I'm not saying they're doing it now, but in the past, we because we were changing front offices so much, we were constantly shuffling rosters as well too, only to see players go somewhere and excel. So that's my only hesitation when it comes to Schwartz. Man, I don't want to see him go somewhere.
But at the same time, I think we're just adding to the room. I don't think, to me, Schwartz's job, has to be necessarily in jeopardy. I know they drafted Bell, and they're going to see what he's going to do. But man, it's like, what happens though is when you're the front office and now you're in win now mode. Previously, if we were just, every year we were bringing in a Trent Dilfer or a McCown, one of the 10 McCowns, you got all kinds of time to, fiddle around. But really, if you're Stefanski now, because, as we're doing this live, the Browns fired Prefer today, and there looks like they're going to bring in the special teams guy from Indy. And he used to play for the Browns. So you got Jim Schwartz, who's one of the best defensive minds in football, and you don't even really have to totally revamp your personnel because he runs basically the same system with Joe Woods did, except better. So your window's open. Like, this is now Watson's, no more excuses, no more rust. We got to go out there and win games. And if you're Stefanski and you're thinking, dude, if I win like 6 or 7 games again, I'm probably not going to be the coach of this team anymore. So
and he probably shouldn't be the coach of this team anymore if he doesn't.
I'll give him. Listen, I've been more than willing to. I think he's. Let's see it. They said we're going to have a new offense, and I want to see the ball thrown 30 sometimes. I want to see it. I want to see what I see coming out of Jalen Hurts and Herbert. I don't want to. I know people love to run the football in Cleveland. I get it. As you were saying, Ray, not anymore, man. I don't want to see. I get why our offense looked the way it did with Brissett. And you got the most out of him with a very easy offense that he could run. But no, it's time. It's time for us to go out there,
throw the ball.
Throw the ball around the field. And that's what I want to see. So I think they feel like we got to start getting this team on the right track now, because you don't spend that kind of money, give up those kind of assets to be fiddling around with guys that might be fringe players. And again, that doesn't mean I want Schwartz off the team. It just means you might have to bring in somebody until he figures it out that's more reliable for where you're at now.
So then let me ask you this then. As far as Stefanski, should he give up play calling, or you okay with it?
I don't know if that was really the problem. I don't know if Stefanski's play calling had our defense consistently blowing coverages. That sounded like Joe Woods' problem.
I mean, it wasn't the whole problem, but there were some really, really bad calls, Ryan. Come on.
He does that.
Really bad.
It happens though in most games. That's not.
This is my only issue. It's not the play calling per se. It's the situation. In other words, he gets in certain situations, and the status quo would normally do A, and he wants to do B, C, and E.
Yeah, that is his biggest Achilles heel. Is he's like,
oh my God, that drives me
up. Watch this, and it's like,
exactly. It's like I'm the evil scientist. I'm the smartest on the ball. I'm like, are you serious right now?
I'll give you that. Somebody needs to sit him down and be like, all right, you do not need to reinvent football on 3rd and 1.
Right. It's like
the 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 play call where he takes Watson off the field. Here comes Brissett. And you're like, I get in theory what you're doing.
The points.
But this is insanity. Stop doing it. That's his biggest problem. Is
that's it. That's his biggest problem.
Himself. Not everybody's Andy Reid, Kevin. There's only one guy that can do that stuff. You just need to take the talent you have and let them be like. You don't need to be creative with Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb and guys like that. They are highly skilled at their jobs. Just let them go play football.
Right.
You don't need to reinvent the wheel with talent. If you had bums like, remember when Hugh Jackson his first year and he was like Joe Thomas was out as a wide receiver, or they'd have they'd have some weird formation and they'd all come back to the line and then they'd try to run a play and 18 penalty flags would come out and be like, you broke every rule of football trying to do that. Like, I get when you're trying to do it when you don't have skilled, like your talent roster isn't there. But dude, you got Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb and Amari Cooper and Njoku. Just do what you gotta do to get a yard. Like
you mentioned somebody that I cannot. We've already been talking for about an hour, so I'm going to close the show down today. But we cannot close it without saying something about Joe Thomas going into the Hall of Fame. So excited for that. I know we plan on going there. What about you, Ray? What are you going to do for the Hall of Fame? And what do you think about Joe Thomas getting his ticket? Can you show us something?
Look at that.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to see that. Yes.
That's so
That's
cool.
amazing.
How tall are
that
those?
Is so cool.
Those are 6-footers.
6-footers.
Dang.
Yep.
I would turn the light on if it was dark and see those things and run. They'd scare the crap every time.
No. Okay. Before you shut that, I gotta tell a quick story. So when they had the locker room sale, a buddy of mine called me. He said, "Hey, you want to go to the locker room sale?" So I seen that those were part of the locker room sale. The locker room sale started at 5:00 in the evening. I got up at the stadium probably 6:30, 7:00 in the morning, because I wanted to be the first one in line because everything is first come, first serve. So I ended up getting them, but we didn't get back to Youngstown till midnight. So I was exhausted. I couldn't get them through the door. So I was able to get Otto Graham through the door, but he stayed in the hallway. So the next morning I get up, completely forgot that he was in the hallway, come flying through here, bam! Not only did I headbutt him, I'm walking around for about 15 minutes with a frozen bag of peas on my forehead because Otto headbutted me.
Ray, can you show us a little bit, like the background shows?
I want to see those guitars too, by the way, if you got back there.
Well, okay, so that's the 10-foot. Hold on, where's it at? I don't see it.
There's that one.
Can you see the guitar back there?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's the so at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they have all those 10-foot guitars. So I was able to find one that was generic. It wasn't anybody in particular, and I bought it, but then I had the guy custom paint with all the browns. But I think you're talking about these guitars.
Yes, I want to see the real ones back there as somebody who fiddles around with. I'm a huge metal fan, as you can see behind me. I have George Corpse Grinder's autographed album cover. He's a death metal singer from Cannibal Corpse, and he did his solo album, so I got it autographed as a gift. Thank you to my buddy Mo. And I was just, those are really nice, man. Now you said you don't play, but you're collecting them. No,
I make them.
Oh, you make those?
Okay, so I go. Okay, this is what happened. I go to a sports memorabilia store, and they have these guitars in here like this. They had a Pittsburgh Steelers and they had a Cincinnati Bengals, and they were $2,500. They didn't even have a Cleveland Brown one. So right away, I said to myself, $2,500? Man, I bet I could make one of those. So I went on Craigslist and I found a guitar for $50, and I brought it home and I spray painted it, and then I put all the decorations myself. And then once I did one, then I did a second one. So then I said, well, okay, I think I got, how many do I got? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 12, but then I got 4 other ones that I haven't done yet. I painted them, but I haven't put any.
I should give you my bass guitar and have you. It's only white. It's just a white shell. You could Cleveland Browns it up, maybe.
Pimp it out.
Yeah.
But hey, all I do is I go to Walmart, get 2 cans of orange spray paint, go out in the garage, spray it up, and then well, see, here's the cool part. This is what I like. So, okay, so this is the Otto Graham one.
Oh, that's really nice. Is that a Fender that you redid there?
This is somebody came in here and told me. He said, "Man, you got a Stratocaster? You got?" But to be honest with you,
Stratocaster by the head or a.
I got them. I found no. This is a crate. This says crate.
Okay, crate. Yeah, I was trying to tell by the head.
So I mean, I basically went on Craigslist and found these for 30, 40, 50 $50 kind of thing. Took the strings off, painted them, and then you get to put different stuff on them. So the main thing I tried to do is put an autograph card, their autograph rookie card. So each one of these has a the autograph rookie card and other stuff. At the end of the day, it's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. It's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. What? You're such a great guest.
Answer your question real quick. Hall of Fame week, I'll be down there all weekend because you figure you got the Browns are playing, Joe's going in, a lot of autograph sessions. I'll get to see a lot of my Hall of Fame brothers and sisters. So yeah, it'll be a great weekend.
Oh yeah, so we'll
wait. Y'all should come down and we can go live.
We are.
We're planning on it.
We're definitely doing that.
Okay, there it is.
Oh, because I'm going to meet Joe Thomas. It's going to happen. So if you're watching this, Joe, watch out. I'm coming for you. I genuinely want to meet him though. I don't want help.
Okay. Well, he
need to have it happen on itself. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't need anyone that I know he's gonna be here or something like that. I want you to Joe Thomas.
Well, normally his wife is with him. And
I don't care. I just wanted to interview him.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not like that, Ray. Gosh. Now he's not going to call me. Thank you. You ruined it all for me.
That's fantastic. Slide into Joe Thomas DMs before the Hall of Fame.
I just want to meet him. I want to meet someone. I think it'll happen. I'll just keep people to put it out there in the atmosphere. Well, definitely, I can't wait to run around. We'll definitely run around out there. It'll be so much fun.
No. If y'all come down Hall of Fame weekend, you'll trust me, because he's gonna be everywhere as well.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Are you gonna wear your blue jacket?
You already know. Absolutely.
Heck yeah, awesome. So, anything else, Ryan, you want to say before we?
Cavs start Thursday against Denver. Then after that, their schedule is actually not too bad. So I'm hoping they can stay in that 4th spot in the East, and let's just win games, man. Let's go to the playoffs.
We're coming back healthy. Let's come back healthy, and we have our whole team going. And then we have Guardians coming up too, so we got a lot of fun stuff. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you guys just stopped by, I know, like I said earlier, we don't really have a day that we're going live.
We just show up. We just surprise.
Yeah. Hey. So we definitely appreciate you guys. Even if you just watch it on the replay, I think that's what most people do, anyways, right? Not live, anyhow.
Yeah.
So
Pretty much.
Thank you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Really appreciate that. We have a lot of stuff coming up for you guys. I was just telling Ryan, I got some really, really fun shows, some really fun guests. I don't want to give anything away yet, but I do have some fun people coming up, and we're going to do some different outside of the box things, Ray. You know, not just the same old shit.
Right. Absolutely.
Yep. And Ray, if you ever want to come back, call me. You got my number. If you want to do anything, we'd love to have you come back on again.
Okay.
AJ couldn't come here today, so we missed him. Maybe one day, if you ever want to join us again, we'll have you come back.
All righty.
All
I'm
right.
gonna hold you to that.
You better.
Okay.
And I'm coming on tomorrow again too.
All righty.
All right. See you guys. Bye. All right. See if I can press end right.